So we're starting out today. I have already written down the date. It is Monday, February 9th, and again at 3:17 p.m. Eastern. I have 4 decks out today. I'm going to be asking some very maybe tough questions. But let's get started. We have the key, we have the other key, and this is a hand of fate. So we're going to see where, and I've already shuffled before we're starting. I'm already cleared the door, yes, and cleared the decks, and cleared the table. We want the best energy possible. So we're asking spirits, guides, and angels, because today is the day, and it is 5 p.m. Mountain Time for Arizona. That is the cutoff for the proof of life to come in. The question is, now again, the time here is Eastern, so it's 3:17 Eastern. They've got a little time yet. My question, will the Guthrie family receive a proof of life from the abductors of Nancy? This is the old boy. Let me move this key right here. You can, well, we'll put it right here. Okay. The old boy gives me good answers. I've had him for decades. Kind of messed up, but he's good. That is Nancy. Put these to the side. That is a Virgo. And the Hermit card. Okay, here we are, my darlings. Let me make some room here for everybody to get into the party. All right. You know, this is a card, the 8 of Cups, in which many people say, oh, they're walking away. But I've read this card long enough in my experience. Sometimes it may mean that, but I believe in this particular case, they've done all they can do. You see that all these cards are lined up. Cups are all lined up. They're emotional. They're water signs. The cups. And this person, cloaked in red, which can be power and control, but passion and compassion, even love, basically have done all they can do, and now they must move on to the next phase. And that's what I believe, because at this point, with this Temperance card, lots of different meanings in this, and with her wings going off the frame of the card, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. And you see water, all water, and the tarot come from the High Priestess robes. Tarot is a life force, but it is water. And I still believe that she is close to, and believe me, all night, all day today before, I'm flipping out a couple cards. I'm reading for other people, but in between, flipping a couple of cards just to see where we are on things. And there's some type of balance here. If we hear that word, balance, you know what it might mean. Right now, I don't. And believe me, there's so many media. I stopped watching only a certain few people because, we don't know if this or this is this and this is this. And so, also the sign of Sagittarius, but also is law enforcement. It's a loyalty card, law enforcement. This card is Nancy. And yes, somebody laughed, they giggled because I have to put little clothes on them. It's because the tubes of you does not like little naked people, and it goes against community guidelines, and they will actually take videos down. And we don't want that to happen because advertisers don't like that sort of thing. So that's why I put clothes on my little naked babies. But this card, the Aquarian card, is Nancy. Now, I said the other day, you would think this is a water card, but it's not. It's an air sign. You would think, because there's so much water. But look, water, 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 and even water over here. This is a card also that says prayers, petitions, blessings, requests have been heard. So believe me, and I'm not totally convinced that this ransom note is real, but you gotta go forward with it, right? You can't not do it. You gotta go forward with it. Again, we see a balance between these two cards, even though this is a fire element and this is an air element. But they're both in water. Why? Well, water, again, life force, but it's emotion. And we all know how emotional this case is and this search for Nancy is. But you see the balance. And in this little sweetheart, the little triangle there is a balance of spiritual, physical, and material. It can be a work-life balance. It can be many things that need to be balanced, but quite frankly, I'm going to say it. I believe that sheriff's office, in my opinion, muffed things up from the beginning. We don't know. We don't know what they missed. We don't know if they... Listen, I read 4 cases, especially one up in Boston, many of you know, that crime scenes, when they are ignored, get ruined quickly. And it's not that they ignored it because they had their little caution and their little police tape up and all this other. But it was a mess. And it is a mess. And so I just want you to know that, and that also, again, law enforcement, she is this person that is approachable. But look at the mountain in the background. You see how these cards give us little confirmation? You know, I'm still dedicated to believing, and this is a water sign. There's water here, there's water all over the board, more so than not. They've been juggling with things, definitely. And this flag of this here is a harvest. It's a harvest flag. It's also a karma flag. Now, I'm not saying Nancy has any karma. We all have karma. You can have good karma as well as bad. Karma has nothing to do with this. I just want you to know I'm explaining the card, so please don't come at me. What this is all about is there was an abrupt end, but there will be an abrupt, quick, I'm going to say beginning of another phase. So an abrupt end, beginning of another phase. This is also the significator card for you beautiful Scorpions out there. And listen, there's nothing scary about this card. And you see in the background, I'm going to show you something. Okay, I had to grab another card because I want to show you something. This is a water sign, Scorpio. And once again, let me get my little pen out here so I can show you. take a look at this right here. Right here, just in that area. Does that look familiar to you? It should. And that is because of this. When there's an abrupt ending here with this particular card, it can be in anything. It can be, and believe me, Scorpions, the Scorpios, they have this wonderful ability to be able, just as a general, they have the wonderful ability that if they cut something off, they can just start something new and just walk away and just go on. A good percentage of them have that ability. Wow, I'm jealous when it comes to that. We Pisceans, we don't have that as much. Although I've taught my... Anyway, here we are. So look at this, because this is the intuition. So when something abruptly ends, this is technically supposed to be the gates of heaven. The gates of heaven can actually believe to be a goal that is achieved. It can be many things. It does not have to mean that you leave this plane. Now, I'm talking in generalities now. I'm just teaching the card, not totally about Nancy, but I feel it's very important that you know this. With this card, if this comes up, we'll talk more about it. But I wanted to show you this card because being this a water sign, let me put this back. This being the water sign that it is, has this emotional attribute to it. Now we see a priest here. He's begging this fellow, give him more time. We see some other people here that are, they're already gone. We have little kids, some oblivious, some looking, because this happens and it's a part of life and it's very unfortunate. But this here, beside her card, I'm going to pull some more cards. I don't want to say too much yet, but here. Now, once again, this is a water element. But when I'm reading cards, the cards are not so rigid that they say, oh, well, this is a water element. So you cannot connect that to Nancy's card because, well, Nancy is an air sign. You cannot. How dare you? We're not that rigid. We're not going to go. We have to flow in the reading. Could be that she's got a lot of water in her chart. But this particular water card, and I'm going to say, this encompasses because she loves family. And this queen is all about family and domestic. And it's all about, you see these little pebbles? It's all about the memories, those little pebbles. And this urn is her containing the good memories of the souls that have gone on. And again, lots of water here. This card tells us something. This card, and look, there's an infinite symbol here, but you see the water in the background, even though this is very grounding, because this is an emotional time, and they are juggling the idea of what's going to be happening with this ransom. Proof of life is coming in. And I just want you to know, I'm a storyteller, aside from a tarot profiler. That's why I tell you stories. So I tell you a story about a proof of life with somebody else in a newspaper. That doesn't mean with this, okay? I'm telling you that is how that particular company that I was affiliated with would do proof of life. Neither here nor there, right? But there has to be some type of proof of life. This Queen of Swords, yes, you can see these cards are well used. And quite frankly, if you are a reader, your cards are probably well used too. And bravo, because if they're not, and you've been reading for a long time, then you either must have a lot of other cards or you're not reading that much. And I encourage you to really start reading again because it helps you. So the Queen of Swords, swords are air elements. We talked about the Queen. We had the King out here the other day, and a page and a knight. And there's movement in this card, and I'm sorry it is kind of messed up, but this deck gives me such great meanings. You see here, the trees are starting to blow just a little bit, and then by the time you get into the page, it's really windy, and then boom, full on with the Knight of Swords. So what does this mean? The sword is up. Look at her little hand. If you can see that out, ready to negotiate. This is a card of commitment to communicate. This queen is very good at it. This energy is very good at it. And it also can be thoughts, communication, emails, calls, texts. Putting this down. Now, this guy, the six-pointed star of Solomon. Solomon, wise. Look at the beard, wise. But look at where this fellow is. He's made it to the top of the mountain. How do we know? He's standing on snow. Grounded, very earthy, Virgo. And the hermit has this ability to say, okay, we are at the top of the pinnacle. And that's where I believe that we are right now with Nancy. We're at the top. What brings us to the top of the mountain? Because this is it. Proof of life, no money. Proof of life, no money. They are willing to pay. This experienced, very earthy hermit is basically saying, look, I'm a hermit. I don't have to be by myself in order to figure these things out, but I need a little bit of me time in order to think things through. That's this card. Now, I've done something. Here I am. Oh my goodness, look what's on the bottom of the deck. So that's a confirmation. Yes, she has her little bikini on too. That's a confirmation that it's Nancy. This card is a universal rider's weight. Did I say that right? No. Yeah, rider weight, not rider's weight, Zelda. This is the box for this, for those of you who like the cards. If I have the boxes, I'll show you. It's a combination, playing card and tarot. So here we go. We're going to ask now. Because we pretty much have had half a foundation. It's all, what's that song? All or nothing at all. Okay, right? It's time for the law enforcement. There's Nancy. There's this card. God forbid. It's all about water. It's all about juggling. And it's all about starting negotiations. Our question is this. Will there be a proof of life? I saw yesterday. Now, you saw me just shuffle. That means something. I have chills. And there's the king. On the bottom of this deck is the fool. That's a new beginning. And a little thing about the fool card. This is called a key. When you see the number up here, like we have the number here in the Two of Cups, the number, the key, that tells you where you're going. And this Fool card is not necessarily meaning the Fool. It's the first card in the deck, even though the key is a 0. Now, why is that? It's because you're starting out at ground zero. You're starting out null and void in the journey. Some people will say this little fellow here is jumping up and down for this little guy. He said, don't jump, don't jump. I don't think he's jumping. This dogs are loyal. This little guy is probably saying, okay, master, okay, let's go. My daddy, my brother, whomever, let's go. I'm going where you are. I'm happy to see you. And frankly, he just may be standing there on the edge saying, look, I know I've got another path to go. The reason the sun is white is because it's wiping the slate clean to start over. Putting that down now. If I drive you nuts with the teaching, that's what I do, my darlings, and I want you to see this. If I were just reading for myself, I would be doing flippity-doo-dah and we'd be done. But we're not. Here we are with Nancy again, and look. The 17, 1 plus 7 is 8, was yesterday, which I feel yesterday was very important. And by the way, people are saying because Savannah held the hand of her sister, Annie, it was in an odd position. It looked like 6 fingers, but it wasn't. It was not AI. If you blow it up and you look really, really close, it was just Annie's hand. It was just kind of odd looking. I just wanted to let you know that. Now, this 4 of Cups. This 4 of Cups can be thought of as this very negative and perhaps stubborn energy. There's a benevolent hand coming out of the heavens, handing this fellow here under the shade of a tree, and there will be, in some cards, there's water in the background. In this one, there's not. But it is a water element. Again, we've got water all over the place. There's 4 cups, and it shows that there were 4 quests, or could be giving 4 abilities. But I want to read this little fellow here as not being so stubborn. To some degree. I think he is. And I think all of us, when this card comes out for you, should be. But this is a card also, the 4 of Hearts is all about, and yes, this is a cup, okay, but it is a playing card tarot deck. The 4 of Hearts is all about hurt, bitterness. I have a theory. I'm going to tell you about that, and this card brings that up. But I'm going to also say, look at his little arms. Look at his little legs. He's got them in what? A figure 8. And what is he doing with that? Protecting his energy. Just like this 2 of Swords, and we're going to get there. But protecting protecting his energy of saying, I'm going to wait. Now, do I feel the Guthrie family are going to have to wait? Yes, but I think there's going to be something that is going to come by. They're either going to extend, there's going to be something, because quite frankly, I think the Guthrie family are prepared. But I think these people who have committed this crime, and that's exactly what it is, are not. And I think they're trying to figure out what on earth to do to give a correct proof of life. Because let's say these people who have committed this crime are not professionals. Who takes an 84-year-old woman out of her home who definitely has severe, I'm going to say, medical condition? Someone who knows her? Someone who doesn't know what they're doing? This is being presented. The Guthrie family is presenting, but I believe also this whole card is Guthrie family. They are presenting the fact that they will pay, but holding out, protecting the energy, because they don't have what it is that they have. And quite frankly, I'm not sure. If they come out tonight and say, yeah, we have proof of life, take a big breath. Let's hope. Because I'm not so sure about that. I'm just not even so sure about these ransom, what indicators, I'm going to put it that way. Here we go. Another very interesting card. This card now, again, negotiating, coming together. And look what we have here. You've heard me talking about it. I want to show you this. This little fellow here is dressed like the fool. Dressed like the fool. This young lady is dressed as the high priestess in her robes. What? All water comes from the high priestess cards. But this is a water element. And this is the medical sign. The staff of, what is it? Hermes, Candice, whatever that is. It's a medical staff, and especially here in the U.S., for those who are looking outside in the country, you can see that on a lot of, that's a medical symbol. Once again, the wings. But these don't go off the frame of the card. See? What these say is now there's a certainty because people are coming together, and look at their little hands. They're exchanging. They're trying to work it out. They're trying to negotiate it. Why? Because she's got a hidden mystery, being that high priestess, and he wants to start over. There's a new path. They have to come together to negotiate what's going on. Now, of course, they're not going to break bread together, but look, they've got little wreaths on their heads to basically say, it's a wreath of victory. Wreath of victory. They're laurel wreaths. I'll give you what this means in a minute. The Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is where you've done all you can do, and then the others laid down their sword, and you eventually win. Now, this, again, is communication. You see how blustery, because this is an air element. You see how blustery this guy is? But, oh, I'm so sorry. I hit the camera. Pardon me. But look, water, once again, in the background. Do I feel that they're going to get something, sort of, kind of, maybe? Yes, I do not believe that they're going to be ignored, but I'm wondering, because look at this, 5 o'clock is the deadline. They're going to want to know that they're winning. But I don't think that they're going to be able to come up with what it is. They may have some type of proof of life, but I'm not so sure it's going to be good enough. And they may ask for something more. That's what this is all getting to. Why would that be? I'll tell you in a minute. This Two of Swords. Air element again. Protecting the energy, but here's something very interesting. Got to click the old clicker. All right, you see this little dot above the blindfold. That's technically supposed to be the third eye opening, giving better insight. When does that happen? When you dull the senses and the remainder or the rest of your body, your third eye opens, and here we go, water again, even though this is an air element. And we've got a moon here. So I'm going to say we'll probably hear something tonight. Here is the king. So you see how still he is? The king and his dominion, which is the kingdom. He's got his sword up, not ready to fight, but he's putting it out there that, look, hello, we're not going to stay stagnant. We're not going to stay still. We want you to do what it is that you need to do in order to make this happen. This is the Guthrie family, pardon me, and communicating that, look, we're not playing here. It's been more than 7 days. It's been 8 days, going on 9 days. And yes, my darling, I know today is the 9th, but you go, I do, 24 to 24. She went missing in the early morning of February 1st. February 1st to February 2nd, early morning, that's the first 24 hours. It's counted as first. And then you go 2nd to the 3rd, that's counted as 2nd. That's how I count it, okay? So I know what day it is. Here we go. Fire element, And here we are on the 9th, making a choice that somebody doesn't want to make. Opening a door, trying to grow the situation, but look at the look on his face. For me, this is a card of, I had to make a choice. I'm not so sure I made the right choice. I may hesitate, but I'm going to stand by my choice. And this is the card before the 10, in which you've learned all the lessons. Now, what I'm getting from this entire thing here, my darlings, is this. Again, we know that they are ready to pay, or they're ready to pay the ransom, the Guthrie family. But there's something that's going to hold it either back. I do not believe they're going to be able to come up with a proof of funds. Proof of life. Financial world, proof of life. I do not believe that they're going to be able to do what it is that they need to do in order to satisfy the Guthrie family requirements. $6 million in crypto is a lot of money, but let me give you a little hint about crypto. It's only worth what those who are in crypto say that it's worth. It's not fiat currency. It's not something that is US backed, for those who don't know. It's not gold backed, it's not paper backed, it's not asset backed, it's nothing. It's just nothing. But it's worldwide. And it's very hard to trace. So, and I don't mess with it. I won't. I know people that do. I have a client who did and lost $1 million. It's tough to play in that market. So now here we go. I want to know. We want to know. Spirits, guides, angels, you gave us a foundation here. They're going to try to get, because of health, they're protecting their own energy of the Guthries. They're asking for proof of life. Will they get it? Will they have to continue with a deadline be moved? Because I'm going to tell you something. They keep moving this deadline. If they feel that the feds or law enforcement are getting too close, they can just say, never mind. Yeah, see, it's money driven. We know that. The sweetheart, I do not think is Nancy. I think it's the woman. Here is the lover that is involved. There's hope. We have hope right now, but the message that and look, I hope I'm wrong. I'm just going to tell you, I really do. I don't like this part. I'm just going to say, this marriage is all about the commitment that law enforcement has with the family to find. What do you do in marriage? Well, you bond. You have a bond you commit with. But you see, there's a falseness here, and I'm just not so certain about this ransom. The whole bloody thing is sus, and I don't have to be a psychic to know that, and neither do you. But the whole thing, I've never seen a case like this in the long time that I've been reading, since the 1980s, for missing people. Never, never, ever. So much weirdness. It's kind of like that, when you're driving a manual car, and you let the clutch out and you're just like stop and start and stop. And that's exactly how I feel. And pardon me, I'm going to say it again. The sheriff in Arizona needs to buzz off. He needs to get out of office, because he's about as, all right. The snark has ended. There's a lot of anger here. There's a lot of sadness. There is some money because of love. But we have this card on top of the death card. It is a widower. That can go either man or woman in this particular case. It's pointing to a woman, pointing to a man. And look, we've got here the hearts. If they're not related, they're certainly tied together. Now, the cartomancy usually tells me the story. So let's go. And look what we have here. 2, partnership, marriage, sharing life together. This, another air element. Aquarius. That is her. I'm just listening. This had to do with something with money. It had to do with some jealousy. I'm going to tell you what is coming out and what I just heard. Here is the woman. Here is the young man and the man who are involved. Definitely secrets, definitely hidden things, but unfortunately, this particular card is that card that is the same as this. And we're getting a lot of indications, and I'm wondering if that is why they can't come up with the proof of life. I hope they do. I hope this is just the energy that just comes out, and I'm reading everybody else that we think, but it just doesn't feel like she's here. And quite frankly, I feel that Annie, Savannah, and Cameron felt the same way. Watching Annie is your indicator. Taking these big breaths, rolling her eyes kind of, swallowing like this, stressors, that usually comes from someone who feels they know something. The way she looked in the last video, I believe they already know. I believe they want Nancy returned. We all do. But I have hope, and I'm still going to pray that she walks through that door, or she's in the hospital somewhere. She could be taken to a hospital and dropped off. A lot of kidnappers do that, by the way, if there's someone who has... But look, there's cameras all over the bloody place now. Even if they went somewhere outside of Tucson, I don't think she's very far. It doesn't feel that she's very far at all. Today is the 9th. There is a question of stability here, of the balance that we've talked about, the indecision of what to do, and the yes card, in which it's an indicator that basically says that it's very difficult and frustrating, and I don't feel that Nancy is still here, and I pray that I'm wrong. This is almost as bad as this guy. But there's an indecision, but here's where it is. There's the hesitation for now, the abductors and kidnappers to act, because there is so much suspicion. If there is a family member involved, everyone has chilled. Now, of course, they went into Annie's house, and first I heard from media, oh, they have a warrant to go into Annie's house, blah, 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 right? And then today it was, oh no, it was consensual. It wasn't a warrant. See, we don't know. But they went in there and they were taking pictures and everything else. It's because Nancy was there for dinner the night before she went missing. But I think they're also collecting other DNA. Okay, so now, here is a separation. Here is hidden things. It's frustrated, difficult getting your point across because these things, this is beyond hidden. And this is a separation, which goes with this, which goes with this, and a separation of body and soul and the suspicion that goes all around it. So this is what I'm just going to say. I think the difficulty will be in the proof of life because I think that it's going to be very difficult for Nancy to even be here. Now I hope that these kidnappers said, look, we've got medicine. We're going to take care of her. Because let's face it, she was injured when she left. She was injured. If she's on blood thinners, that type of thing doesn't end quickly. There's a card that fell. And 2. Some light is being shown on this. Yeah, you like their little outfits? Some light is being shown on this, and look what we have again is the medical. And yes, she probably could have survived longer, but the medical. The kidnappers know. They know what's up. They know what's coming. This, my darlings, Ellen, look who we have on the bottom of the deck again. So those are all confirmations and indicators to me that they want a happy ending. They want a celebration regardless. If it's a celebration of returns or a celebration of life, I would feel the same way. This is them right now as you're watching, trying to negotiate and follow through this. I have not seen anything today. This morning, I did look at this young man, Brian. I think that's his name. He's so good. But I can't watch all these things because it's too jumbly for me. The Empress card, the counterpart to the Emperor. This Empress card is that where it's taking a breath, but there's a wooded area and there is water. You see right here, there's a waterfall. I still say she's near a park, something like that, and water. These are indications. It's like she's chilled. It's like she's calm. This is a card, the Hierophant, the counterpart to the High Priestess. Taurus. And in spirit. Another long one today for you. Another long one. There's the author of money, offer, the grounding offer of money. And look, there's a jack so they're dealing with someone. Is it the people that have Nancy? That's my question. And then there's the celebration. 3 of Cups, 3 of Hearts. It's learning, but there's an interference. Okay, something out of the blue, swiftly. There's the World card here. Again, another indication of spirit. I'll go through that in another time, really what the World card means. But, my darlings, fire element, opening doors. It's going to happen quickly, swiftly. Let's see what happens. But I think they're having issues. They're having problems right now. Will it resolve? Yes, I do. But I'm committed to read on this every day. I will go live once they have the finality. Once they know, I'll go live. Just wanted to show you. I'm here for it. Prayers for Nancy. Thanks for being here. See you soon.